Good evening. For this week's discussion post, we're supposed to talk about our research project. For my research project, I'm going to do a PowerPoint. I just found that this would be the most interesting and fun way to answer the research questions. For mine, I kind of started off with the frame of I wanted to look at the argument of whether the Constitution was a Christian document and whether the Founding Fathers meant for it to be a Christian document. So my first question was, did the Founding Fathers mean for the Constitution to be a Christian document? And the second one I wanted to answer is, did the freedom of religion guaranteed by the Founding Fathers mean freedom of any faith or freedom of any Christian religion? And that seems to be a big debate in present times. So I kind of want to investigate and see what they thought about it and what they had intended it to be. And as we know, one of the best things about our Constitution is that it's a living document, and it has persevered throughout time and changed with America, and that's why it's one of the most effective constitutions ever made. So I really want to dig into what they thought, and by answering these questions, Christianity's role in the Founding Fathers' decision-making process, while establishing the country's foundation, can be determined. So after submitting my research perspectives, the professor wanted me to narrow it down, and choose one particular Founding Father. And I'm a huge George Washington fan, so that's why I chose him. Always been a huge George Washington fan. I got a picture of him up in my classroom. Not only as the first president, as the leader of the Continental Army, and just he stepped down. That's the biggest thing to me. You know, he had all the power. He could have been a dictator. He stepped down. So I started looking at his religious beliefs and viewpoints and how it guided his decision making. And it's a complex answer, and I'm still not done with my paper, with my PowerPoint, so I don't have a firm answer yet. But yeah, I do think his religious beliefs, which you can argue may be more of a deism, believing in a godly power, but maybe not for a Christian God, definitely influenced his decision making, influenced his role as a great leader. However, he kind of strayed away a little bit of including it into his public life. But certainly you can see from his writings that it did play a factor in his decision-making. So while it may not have been on the forefront, that may not be why he made those decisions, his religious background and his belief in a godly power certainly affected those decisions. And you can see a big factor in his writings and his letters, thanking the divine providence, or praying to the divine providence, or asking the divine providence for help, or giving credit to the divine providence for the success of the country. So essentially answering my two main questions. One, did the Founding Fathers mean for the Constitution to be a Christian document? And we're looking at George Washington. George Washington didn't really play a huge role in the Constitution or any of the founding documents necessarily. He was there. He presided over it, and he would become our leader. But no, I don't really think he meant for it to be a Christian document. It definitely had Christian ideas in it, and he influenced those Christian ideas. But it wasn't essentially a Christian document. And did the freedom of religion guaranteed by the Founding Fathers mean freedom of any faith or freedom of any Christian religion? George Washington's a little iffy on this. I would lean towards he was meaning Christian religion, or meaning the religion of one higher being, which would have been probably a Christian God in his case. So yeah, it's a complex answer. I don't know if we can answer it. You know, we can look at evidence, and it's complicated, and it's hard to view that now. So it's an iffy answer. Thank you for listening. Maybe you go watch my PowerPoint.